Hi, and welcome to craft time, or whatever it's called, with me. This is Dyer. This is sped up really fast, so I'm just going to sort of describe what I'm doing. I'm going to be watercoloring today, and that involves the things you see on the screen here, including Kobe. I've got brushes on the left, my two mixing trays, and my little kit on the right. I'm using, it was nice of me to walk away so I can narrate for a minute. I'm using a bunch of different things. Oh, right here what I'm doing is realizing that I need music in order to do this. So that's me setting up the audio. So I'm starting by getting the page really wet, and what I've sort of decided to paint today, this was originally going to be a warm-up, and then I was going to do something else after, but I decided not to do that. So I got too involved in doing this, and that's all I did today. So what you see me here doing is trying to open and paint, and then remembering that I actually have a whole bunch of other white paint and using those instead, because I'm really smart. So I paint a lot of desert-y kind of scenes, because A, I think they're easy, and B, it's hot right now, and I just desperately want to be somewhere where it's nice when it's hot and not when it's just gross when it's hot, which is what Chicago is like. So I'm sort of doing what I start with a lot of the things that I paint is just a blue sky and some brownish, reddish, orangish earth. So I'm mixing all the colors on the right, and as you can see, I don't really like to ever clean my mixing trays. I like to just kind of leave them there because I pretty much always have whatever color I'm looking for. See, I'm adding some mountains and a little mesa, a little bluff here. Now I'm adding all sorts of color and stuff because in a desert landscape, there really isn't just one color or two colors. Well, in any landscape, whatever. The world is full of lots of colors. Really cool statement, Dyer. As a reminder, I'm not an actual artist. I'm not actually trained in this or anything, or even that much of a hobbyist. I kind of just paint, every once in a while. I took costuming in college, and that was essentially a watercolors class, because that professor really relied on, or not really relied, but kind of had us do everything with watercolor. So I really liked messing around with it. I liked to paint clothes a lot, and then I started trying to paint other things. You can see in my left hand, I'm holding a scrap piece of paper. That's just to test out how the colors are gonna look on paper. You can also see that my watercolor water is already disgusting, which is not part of that. Here I'm trying to lighten up the cliffs a little bit to get that pale pinky feldspar. Maybe you don't know that. Maybe I'm just making a silly assumption about our viewers, but oh, you'll also notice, because I'm listening to music, there's a lot of moments where I just kind of flail. That's me dancing. It looks very silly when sped up 10 times. One of my bad habits with watercolor is just smearing shit around with my fingers, which is actually kind of not a thing. Oh, here, so I've decided that I was happy with that, and then instead of just being normal about it, I decided I wanted to draw a hand in the sky. I like to draw a hand, which is why my left hand is looking ridiculous. It's because I'm using it as a reference. You can tell I'm not an actual artist because I actually like to draw hands. I mess with hands a lot. I think they're really cool. Probably my favorite paintings I've ever done is a series of mine and my two brothers' hands, each in different gestures that I painted for my mom for Christmas a couple years ago. Mine is in a finger gun. My youngest brother's is the middle finger, and the middle brother, who's a big heavy metal guy, is the rock on sign. So those are actually good paintings, I think. I think I did a good job. This is a not planned last second edition of I think there should be something in the sky. What do I want to paint? Ooh, let's paint a hand. And so I'm mixing a bunch of flesh tones and kind of fucking around with this, and I spent probably way too much time on this. I have what Jenna Marbles once described as too much disease or too much syndrome or something, where when something looks okay, instead of stopping, I have to keep going and tweaking it and being insane. And this hand was really pissing me off because it kept looking kind of wrong, which is why you can see me keep putting my hand up and keep holding this up and being what the fuck? It looked like a hand facing the other way instead of the way that I wanted it to face. So what you're looking at right now is gonna look literally completely different from what I ended up doing. cool thing that I like about watercolors is it's actually pretty forgiving. Like I kind of just put a bunch of water on the page and basically like redrew that finger from I've moved the camera. That was nice of me. From like a completely different angle, and as you can see, the hand is like getting fucking wacky looking here. A fun thing to note with flesh in general is that there's a lot more colors in it than just like flesh. Our professor in college insisted on us mixing the flesh, the base flesh tone for the figures that we were painting, and like that was a really great lesson. But whenever I'm painting a hand that's mine, I found that if I take a base flesh watercolor, I have a really cheap little tube. If I take that and mix in pink and blue, which is what you can see I've got going on there on the right, I can get a pretty close approximation to my own flesh without having to mix from base colors. Haha, sneaky. So this takes a really long time because I really hated how this looks. On camera, it really looks actually not nearly as bad as I thought it did in person. But I didn't really like the angles. It looked wrong to me for a lot. And then I started mixing in some green because like sometimes blue does look green. Oh, see, I just like basically erased a whole part of the hand right there. Fun fact, I think I end up actually kind of putting that back, if I remember correctly. I'm talking like this was a long time ago. I just filmed this and now I've sat down and now I'm here. So doing this, it's not been a long time. It's been maybe 15 minutes, but I've already forgotten what I did. Yeah, so I did these changes and then I kind of like trimmed some stuff and did the blue, and then I was like, this looks fucking weird. This looks like two hands that have morphed into one hand, and also it kind of looks like it's a hand facing the other way. Like it looks like I'm looking at a hand and the thumb is on backwards, you know what I mean? Like upside down kind of. I think at one point I hold my hand like that to the camera so you can see where I'm like, wait, this is what looks wrong to me. I actually don't think the way I fixed it is that good, but I did get bored. And that's what matters to me. Oh yeah, see, there we go. See, I'm holding the hand being like, no, fuck, it looks like it's going this way, not this way. So I realized that part of the issue was that the palm of the hand should extend beyond the thumb a little bit from the angle that I am pretending that this hand is at. So I did fix that a little bit, and then also I just had a really hard time getting the webbing in between the thumb and the finger. That looked fucking weird. But see, now I've erased that, now I'm painting more, which is funny because I erased that and now I'm putting it back, and now I'm erasing it, now I'm putting it back again. But yeah, so see what I mean? Like the palm should extend a little farther behind it. I think to add something to a painting last second, or not last second, but like to paint a color down and then put something on top of it is stupid. Like that's like not how you're supposed to paint. But I don't like to be told what to do. Anyway, the end.